Like snort cinnamon?
Yeah, like snort cinnamon. Snorting cinnamon. Which, I don't know about you guys, but my doctor told me that's actually very healthy.
Seems like it would be.
Your doctor does not tell you that.
Yeah, I don't even have a fucking doctor. Shit, I can't even back that up. Oh, we're live. Deadman Stone Podcast. Your host, Mr. Deadman. Co-host, Becky. And
Hey!
all that nonsense about Christmas starting earlier and earlier. Well, guess what? It's fucking true. Christmas is now.
It is.
Thanksgiving hasn't even started, and Christmas is right fucking now. Here on the show, Glenn motherfucking Christmas. How's it going?
It's going real well. How are you?
I'm doing all right.
Great.
It's good to have you on. And let's see. I think we have a few things. Oh, Becky, do we have any ads or anything we need to read real fast?
Not this time.
Not this
But
time.
we will have some ads next week. But we do have a very special announcement.
Oh, what's that?
We have a book a novella that's going to be coming out.
Oh yeah, that's right. I almost forgot.
So, would you like me? You like me to read the blurb and tell who the author is?
Oh, go right ahead.
The book is called Trespass. The blurb is a traditional hunting trip on opening day, some bad weather, and something very bad in the woods. Venturing out in spite of the weather, things quickly turn bad for Frank Vaughn and his two best friends and his son Corey. They thought they were keeping tradition, but when they stumble upon something they were never meant to see, they are suddenly thrust into a desperate, chaotic fight for their lives. Those who trespass want to be left alone. This is by Chris Miller.
Oh damn. Yeah,
Oh,
Trespass.
it's good.
Trespass, Chris Miller. First off, I would have to say this book is fan-fucking-tastic. Anyone who's a father, and I mean, if you ever went hunting, and the just the thought of losing your son, just having him, where you're in a situation where he's bleeding and you have to race to get out of the situation. You have people hunting you down because you found something that you shouldn't have found. You've been somewhere where you shouldn't have been, on your own property, by the way. On your own property, right? So then you're racing to get him help. Racing against time. Man, that's relentless. That's good. The other thing about it, I don't know if you noticed this, but this is the second Miller that have signed for a book.
Yes, it is. And they're not even related.
They're not even related. Renee Miller and then Chris Miller. I think at this rate, the next author I sign has to be a Miller. I mean,
that would be cool. I'm changing my name. No, I'm just kidding.
Gonna start a trinity here, you know. So is it okay to discriminate based on name? Is that legal? Can I do that? I mean, I guess I don't have to.
I don't think you should be able to. I don't think you should tell people that you're going to do that if you're going to do that.
I'm screening for Millers, guys and ladies. Screening for Millers. Got to make the Trinity happen.
Profiling.
Yeah. Gotta make the Trinity happen. All right. Now, I'm hearing myself faintly in the background, but that's. I
know somebody needs to mute it.
Oh,
it's
I
not
think.
me.
Hey, Glenn, do you have the stream on by any chance?
Do I have the what?
The stream or the YouTube stream?
The podcast?
Hang on a second. Actually, now that you say that, I may have put that on earlier. And
hey, guess what? It wasn't me this time. Holy cow.
All right. Close that.
Oh, that's okay.
How is that?
It's okay. It happens. It happens. Oh yeah, it's much better. Okay.
It's usually me.
I actually turned that on about 30 minutes ago and forgot about it.
Well, it happens. Not worried about that. One other announcement before we get going. If you're listening to the show, Streamlabs is on. What that means in the description box below, you can click on a link, and you can feel free to donate $1 or $2, whatever you feel. And a blurb or whatever, an animation will appear on the screen, like a zombie or whatever. And that's kind of funny, kind of cool. But you help out the show.
That's so cool.
But there's one other very important detail I need to do. You see, Glenn, Becky, I messed up.
Uh-oh. What have you done?
I didn't notice.
I need to.
Well, me neither, not yet.
I need to make an apology.
Uh-oh.
I need to make the most authentic apology ever. So, okay. You see,
Well, spill it.
I made a statement.
Oh, no.
I made a statement on the
Who
prior
have you
show.
offended now?
Well, you see, on the last show when I was talking, I was commenting on the prior on the news article.
Uh-oh.
The news article about the satanic group that's suing Netflix.
Oh, no.
Over the blatant copying and exploitation of their precious religious figure.
Uh-huh.
And in that statement, I incorrectly referenced the Church of Satan. I said...
Yeah, you did.
I said the Church of Satan going up in arms, throwing a hissy fit. That's my quote. When it's actually the Satanic Temple. I'm sorry. Apparently, I offended a few Satanists, and I feel compelled to give a very heartfelt apology. I'm sorry. I'm sorry that when I hear satanic group this or satanic group that, I immediately think Church of Satan. What a fool I am, right? I mean, is it really my fault? Is it my fault, Becky?
No.
I mean,
no.
I didn't.
They should forgive you.
You think they can forgive me?
Well, I would hope so. Maybe you should pray to all the deities and beg forgiveness.
I know, right? I mean, I didn't realize that there were different denominations of what is essentially a religion created to troll and take the piss out of Jesus believers. I didn't know that. I'm sorry.
But it's not a religion, remember?
Oh yeah, that's right. It's not a religion. Oh, I guess I should apologize for not showing reverence or respect towards them. I'm sorry. I just didn't know you guys you took yourself that seriously. Ooh. But because of the salty tears that they had in response, I just want to say I'm sorry. I'm sorry.
Well, I've got something else for you to sink your teeth into.
Well, okay.
There was a lady in Alabama that was going to be a zombie for Halloween.
Yeah.
And she spent $3 on a pair of fake teeth for a costume. And the zombie teeth attached to her regular chompers was adhesive. But somehow or the other, the adhesive was a little bit too strong. And when she was trying to remove them, they wouldn't come out.
Oh, shit.
So she took a pair of wire clippers and cut the tips off of the teeth.
Oh, my God.
She couldn't eat or drink.
Oh, my God. That's so stupid.
And she was hoping that the hot coffee she was trying to drink would loosen the glue, but it didn't work. She said, I just drilled hot coffee.
Oh.
So it took a while, but they had to saw or cut it off in sections at the dentist office.
Oh, man. Oh, man.
Yeah.
That is crazy. I mean, it shows commitment that she used. What adhesive did she use?
I don't know. It said the adhesive is what came with the teeth.
Wait. Then she must have done something wrong. Or this must be something going around the country. Because, I mean, Where does she buy this fake teeth from? I mean,
I don't know.
I have a lot of questions.
But there's a picture of her, and let me tell you, with her teeth in, she's pretty.
Oh yeah, you showed me a picture on Messenger. It looked like a crazy meth head or something. Ugh, it looked like a
I
piranha.
know it did. I was like, oh my God.
Ugh.
Can you imagine? Oh, I would have gone everywhere and showed everybody my teeth if that had been me.
No one would be near you ever. No one would ever come near you ever again.
I'd run down the sidewalk in public and go, rah, 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 rah. Show people my teeth. I would. I'm sorry. I would have to.
You could get a job on like Craigslist or whatever for like just to give people nightmares, just to chase people, whatever, just to scare people off their property or something. A tenant or a landlord is trying to get rid of a tenant that's not paying rent, but they can't really do it because there's all these laws. You can't just throw them off, so they're gonna hire you as the piranha, as the living piranha monster, whatever. This Becky with crazy sharp teeth or whatever. Man, think of nightmares.
Oh my God. Well, I got one more for you. You ready for this one?
Yeah.
There's a guy named Matt, and I assume the last name is Stoney, Stonnie. He is a professional eater. Okay. He's a former Nathan's hot dog eating champion.
Well, hold on. I mean, have you seen my gut, Becky?
No, yeah, but no.
I mean, hold on.
You don't eat.
I mean, Glenn, I know you haven't seen any. I don't know if you've seen pictures of my gut or anything, but I'm a big guy. I eat a lot. I drink a lot. I mean, couldn't I classify as a professional eater?
No, you didn't
Well,
win Nathan's hot dog eating contest.
Those guys are pretty thin that win that contest.
They are, but this is funny. This guy attempted to eat 108 packs of fruit by the foot. That's 324 feet, which is more than goal line to goal line on the gridiron.
Where in the hell's it got?
Yeah. That's a shit.
It also adds
ton.
up to 8,640 calories and 1,080 grams of sugar. That's just a tad over the recommended 36-gram daily limit for men set by the American Heart Association.
Huh. I mean, does he have diabetes?
He does now.
I don't know.
Okay. Well, I think he's going to get it. I mean...
I'm sure that he had the poos for about a week.
Yeah, but they were like green and red too.
Yeah.
Christmas colors. See, I'm thinking Christmas colors. Oh, look at that.
I'm including that in there. Very good.
Yeah. See,
He's so good.
there's
He's smart.
always a segue. Always a segue. Well, I don't know about you guys. When was the last time you guys actually ate fruit by the foot?
I don't know if I ever have.
I have never had it.
Oh.
I was going to say, yeah.
Well,
I've eaten fruit roll-ups, but that's been a long time ago.
All right. Well, I used to eat that stuff as a kid. And my son has had a few, whatever. It's, I mean, to eat that much of it, wow. I
can't imagine eating that much of anything.
That is a lot of food.
Well, and not only that, but when those crazy fools eat those hot dogs, I mean, that's just like sickening. I don't even think they chew.
And in those contests, it's a joke in itself. Watching a grown-ass man just shoving a lot of sausages and hot dogs into his mouth and his throat. I mean, come on. What is that? I mean...
Well... Some people would think that was quite interesting.
I bet they would, Becky. I bet they would. Hell, there's a German restaurant down the road. Every summer they have the sausage fest. That's great. I love it. But even I going in
That's what you could do.
I know what the joke is, and I find it hilarious. I'm just keep them coming, bring the sausages, keep them coming, keep them coming. Each time
That's
I'm taking
what you
pictures.
could do.
Taking pictures.
You could eat a hot dog for Gary Buller.
Okay, let's announce it right here.
Okay.
All right, ladies, gentlemen, we're gonna do a private show. I want to commit to at least 2 a month. Okay, and these private shows are gonna have video stream. All right. And the next one is really going to be dedicated to Gary Buller and some of the other patrons that have been supporting for a long time. So it's going to be my appreciation
And
for
Tony.
their support. And Tony.
Yeah, because they both want kisses.
They want kisses. So
Yeah, from you,
it's
from
going
Mr.
to-
Deadman.
If you want to see a grown-ass man giving, I guess, I don't know what you want to say. Just putting
Blowing
himself out
kisses?
there. Not blowing kisses, but trying to show his love to some of his biggest, I guess, supporters, if you will. I don't want to say fans. That sounds kind of lame. But, supporters. Yeah, definitely check it out. I don't know about the time, the day and time. We'll know that out, Becky. Probably next week. No,
Okay.
I mean next weekend. Let's do that next Saturday. I don't have anything playing next Saturday that I know of. Next Saturday night. Boom. Let's do it. Anyway.
Okay, we can do it.
All right. With that out. Oh, one last thing though. In order to watch that, you would have to be a patron. It's patrons only. So, and it only takes $1. There you go.
Yeah, and you'll do something very special for Mr. Gary on there.
That's right. Very special. Very special.
I'm not sure I want to see this.
Might actually have to stream this one on Pornhub. But,
So you're gonna suck down a whole sausage, right?
Oh my God.
No. All for Gary. Yeah. So.
Oh, we also have one other thing you forgot to announce.
What's that?
That we're raising money for a new computer for Deadman's Tome, and for a $5 donation, one-time donation through the patron, we raise enough money, then I get to tase my brother, and we will video it, and everybody that's donated $5 to the computer fund will get to watch it.
Oh, that's pretty cool. That's something that needs to happen.
Please, I want to taste my brother so bad.
There's a lot of feedback in that voice.
Please.
I want to see her do it too.
I know a lot of people that would. I really do love him. Don't get me wrong, but I really want to tase him.
All right. I think now the appropriate question is, Mr. Christmas, Glenn Christmas. Who are you and what do you do?
Actually, I am retired, and I worked in the fire alarm industry here in the city of Houston for 30 years, and there was a lot of electrical work and worked in high-rise office buildings and all. After 30 years, I decided to hang up my keyboard and try to enjoy life a little bit more. But after retirement, I realized that, I kind of needed something to do. So I had always had this idea in my head that I should write a book, or somebody should write a book about Benjamin Franklin coming forward to the future and discovering what electricity has done for our society today. And after about, I guess about 5 months of tinkering with lawn equipment and things like that around the house, that I said, well, you know what a better time to sit down and actually start putting words to paper. So I found a app in the iTunes store. It was called A Novel Idea, and I started looking at it and filling things out on it, and before I knew it, I had my plot and premise and characters and stuff all kind of built in it. And I said, well, I can't write a book in this app, so I pulled everything out of it and put it in Word and started typing away and outlined. And before I knew it, I had me a full blown novel written, and so I did that. It took me about 9 months to actually write the book or write the story, and then I spent the next 2 years and a few months editing until I finally got it out. So had a great time with it.
I mean, that's pretty good. I mean, the question I have here is, well, I mean, I guess what compels you to write? Like why write?
Actually, it was a story that I had in my head, and I just thought it was something that needed to be down on paper. And actually, when I started doing a little research on the book, I started reading a lot about Benjamin Franklin, and more predominantly about his electrical work, because I had spent so much time working with electricity over the years that I thought with the electrical work that he had done and the experiments. I didn't know much about his experiments, so I actually stumbled across a website. It's called Project Gutenberg, and on it I found Franklin's letters that he had written to a guy named Peter Collinson in England, and he wrote 5 letters, and he documented all of the experiments that he had done. So I started reading all of his experiments, and actually became very fascinated with him and some of the stuff that he had done. And he actually started discovering things through the experiments that he did. The first was basically learning that electricity had positive and negative charges, which nobody knew at that time. And of course, keep in mind, this was in the late 1740s.
Yeah.
And so nobody really knew much about electricity. They knew of electricity, they just didn't know how it worked.
Yeah.
So, so he, so as I was reading through his experiments and observations pamphlets of all of his letters, it all just kind of started coming together that I should incorporate some of his experiments into this story and make it kind of the foundation of the story. So the way the story kind of goes is it's really not necessarily about Benjamin Franklin. It's really more about Zach and Zane, which are 16-year-old twin brothers, and they're fraternal twins. And they actually they're like sophomores in high school in Philadelphia, and they happen to go to a CTE school, which is a career technology education school. And in there, they can take different types of education or career technology courses, and they happen to take electricity. And being that they took electricity courses, they learned about different things in electricity, but their instructor wanted to give them a history lesson on capacitors. And capacitors is, for those that don't know, a capacitor basically is a device that actually stores electricity in it, and then it can release that electricity.
Yeah.
Okay, so they start learning of these capacitors, but the teacher teaches them about Benjamin Franklin's electrical experiments, and of course about his kite experiment. So once the boys learn of this, then they decide they want to recreate Benjamin's kite experiment. As they do, they end up getting transported back to 1752 when Benjamin Franklin is in his kite, and they do it through their father's time machine, which is not something they were expecting. So,
okay, so this is pretty interesting because on this show, we bring on all sorts of creative minds, usually mostly writers, authors, and I like this because so you're driven by this story. You know, some people are driven because they feel compelled to write, but I mean, this is like the story was calling you, and you just had to do it. So before this, I mean, have you had any writing experience?
Oh no. Well, I say no. I mean, I spent 30 years in the fire alarm business, but probably 20 of it, the last 20 was in sales. So I actually wrote contracts and I wrote proposals, and I spent a great deal of time doing that. So I mean, I had that kind of writing, but it wasn't technical writing, and it wasn't writing stories or anything like that. So that was the gist of my writing abilities. But I mean, I felt like I had enough in me where I could actually write a story, and of course I knew there's smarter people out there than that actually knew how to do editing and things like that. But I did a lot of that on my own first, and then I went to a professional.
Okay.
Oh,
Now, I don't know. Are you? I mean, I would imagine you are aware of a show called South Park, right?
Yes, I am. I've not watched much of it, but I
Okay.
am aware of it.
I kid you not. They actually use kind of this concept for an episode where Cartman had to go back in time to write some essay on Benjamin Franklin or whatever. I don't know.
right.
So they
Right.
create this elaborate thing with a kite and a key and a pool. Not a pool, some water. End up frying him, electrocuting him back in time, almost killing him. It's some hilarious stuff.
It's hilarious.
All he had to
You
do
need
was
to
write
see
the
it.
stupid paper. He didn't want to write the paper. He wanted to actually like be Benjamin Franklin. So I got to share you that episode. I know they have it on YouTube. Or I don't know if you.
Yeah.
Okay.
I'm fixing to make a note to see if I can find that.
Yeah. Okay. But so okay. Now, I mean, how does the? I want to start with the time machine, I guess. I mean, how did they make the time machine work? Like what's is like a DeLorean?
So let me give you a little description of the time machine,
Okay.
so you get this idea of how it is. So their father, the boy's father, buys this old barbecue trailer from a Texan, and the barbecue trailer he used in cook-offs, and he had it designed so that it had a slight pitched roof on it, and it had a little chimney on it, and the chimney was the smokestacks from for the vents for the cooking equipment inside the trailer, and the outsides of the trailer, on one side, had two doors that folded down, and they ran the length of the trailer. One folds down and the other folds up where they meet in the middle and basically make the whole side of the trailer.
Okay.
When those are open, it appears that it's a front porch of a cabin. You follow me?
Yeah, I'm following you.
Okay. So he had a wrapped around the trailer that made the trailer look like it was made out of wood. So it looked like an old wood cabin, but it was on wheels. But the wheels are kind of concealed when you look at the trailer. When the doors are opened up, it looks like a cabin.
Okay.
And there's two doors on the trailer. So inside the cabin, there's a front door and a back door on the trailer, both on the same side on the front porch of the cabin. So on the inside, it's two rooms divided, just the trailer divided in half, with a door that links between the two rooms as well. The front room is just a sitting room where his father could sit and talk with his colleagues and stuff. The back room was his laboratory that he had set up and built a time machine that he was working on trying to make work, but had not been able to do so. He decides he's got two colleagues that are coming in town, and he believes he has a math problem, and he's taking the trailer downtown Philadelphia to go meet with his colleagues so they can look at the math problem he believes he has. And he asks his boys, Zach and Zane, to bring the trailer downtown.
Okay.
Okay, so that's how the trailer gets into the downtown area, and what they decide to do is they want to recreate Benjamin Franklin's kite experiment, so they do, but before that, they build a Leyden jar, just like Franklin had. And are you familiar with a Leyden jar?
That I'm not. What is a Leyden jar?
Okay. I'll explain the Leyden jar in just a second.
Okay.
So inside his laboratory, he has some computers and electrical equipment and all, and then he has this big round tube in the back that's protected by a desk and all, and this round tube has these, it's like plasma that's floating around inside this round tube.
Okay.
And so you see this plasma of these violet and red and yellows and orange and blues and greens all intermingling together. So the two boys are flying their kite, and well, I'm sorry, let me take a step back. So they have to build this Leyden jar. So what a Leyden jar is, Benjamin Franklin, it's the main tool Benjamin Franklin used to study electricity back in 1740s.
Okay.
And it's basically, imagine it's like a glass jar, like almost like an old style milk jug.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And it has a cork in the top. The bottle is filled about halfway filled with water. It has a cork in the top, and it has a metal or a copper wire that extends down into the water and sticking out of the top of the cork with a little ring on it. The bottle, at the bottom, the bottom half of the bottle is wrapped in aluminum foil, and out of the aluminum foil also comes another wire that extends up, and it's the same height as the ring that's sticking out of the center of the bottle. So now you have two metal rings that are sticking up that are even with each other at the top.
Okay.
That's okay.
It's a capacitor.
It's a capacitor.
Yeah.
That's exactly right. So they would charge the glass jar with a silk cloth by rubbing it, and as they rubbed it, it was very similar to as if in the cold weather you rub your feet on the carpet and you build up static electricity in your body, and then you touch your friend and you knock the piss out of them because of it.
Yeah.
Okay. Same concept with the jar. So Benjamin Franklin was under the impression that if he could collect lightning from his kite, that he would be able to capture the lightning in the Leyden jar. Now you understand what a Leyden jar is. This is what the two boys were trying to do. They were trying to recreate the kite experiment and capture lightning in the Leyden jar.
Okay.
Okay. Well, when they actually did capture the lightning, and the lightning is what actually started the time machine, and it transported them back to a time that their father had already pre-programmed into the computers to go back, and it was the date that Benjamin Franklin was, or the date before Benjamin Franklin was flying his kite. So that's how they got back, or that's how they got to the back to the Franklin days.
Well, that's pretty cool. So, I mean,
yeah.
It seems a lot easier than building a car that you have to drive, 80 miles per hour?
Yeah, the DeLorean.
Yeah. I mean, that runs on garbage. I mean, what?
Yeah, exactly.
I mean, I think your idea is just as plausible as that. I mean, we're talking about time machines, but
yeah.
So, but
we can't do it right now, but who knows?
I don't know, Becky, if you have the same question, but why Benjamin Franklin?
Why Benjamin Franklin? Because
why not?
Yeah, well, why not?
Yeah.
But the main reason is because I actually had worked with electricity through my 30 years in the fire alarm business. I knew a lot about electricity. I knew a lot about, well, I learned a lot about programming with computers and things like that. So with all of that knowledge, the idea came to me 15, maybe 20 years ago that, wouldn't it be really cool if Benjamin Franklin could come forward to the future and see what electricity has done for society?
Oh,
So
he would flip out.
Yeah, he wouldn't
he
recognize it. He would not recognize it. There's no way.
Oh, no,
Isn't Benjamin Franklin the one that wanted to make the turkey the national bird?
I don't know if he did or not. I haven't read that.
Huh. It
So-
should be the national
Okay, I'm
bird.
looking that up.
It should be. The turkey.
You watch
I do know that through a lot of their experiments, they actually took a small bird about the size of a hen, I guess.
It is Benjamin Franklin.
It was Benjamin Franklin. Okay.
Uh-huh.
Why a
So-
turkey?
See, holy shit, I taught y'all something.
Why?
Yeah.
Hold on. Now, I mean, why a turkey? Because I mean, when they're sitting around thinking, "Oh, what's our national bird gonna be?" Someone goes like, "Okay, I have an idea. Bald eagle looks badass." No,
Well,
turkey.
it may have been the turkey because he actually fried a hen with the electricity that he created in his Leyden jar.
He said he wanted to make the turkey the national bird, believing that the turkey would be a better national symbol than the bald eagle, who was often seen feeding on cadavers, and was therefore, in Franklin's opinion, little better than a vulture.
It is the best vulture. That's what it is. Bald eagles.
Well,
It is.
you
I'm
know.
sorry. I'm gonna say Benjamin Franklin might be a genius and all, but on that account, I don't know if Benjamin Franklin. No, I was gonna correct myself. I'll say I don't know if he gets marketing, but at the same time,
Yeah.
I think he does because we can learn some stuff here today.
I taught y'all something. Holy shit, the world has come to an end.
In fact, I think this is the best time to really kind of go into like what's true and not true about Benjamin Franklin.
So, well, let me throw a little something else at you too. So,
Okay.
Yeah.
So, do you know why Benjamin Franklin flew his kite?
Because he was testing electricity or something. Oh, whoa.
No.
We got a donation. Chris Miller just donated. Oh, no,
Thank
he
you,
just
Chris.
subscribed. Just subscribed. That is
Oh, cool.
that was cool. That was a cool effect. I like that. That was nifty. That was cool. A little zombie came up on the screen, running around.
Aw.
That was nifty. All right. Sorry.
Okay, so
Okay. No, it wasn't because he wanted to figure out electricity.
well, it obviously
That was an accident.
because he wanted to prove that lightning was electricity. But do you know what led him to think up that idea?
George Washington was like, "Nah, dude, that's totally is not electricity."
No, that's not the case.
Oh.
So it was an experiment. So let me explain that experiment to you. So it's actually pretty cool the way he did this. So what he did is he actually took a balance scale. You know, the scale that's got the two plates that kind of balance up and down. You can put something on it and see which one weighs more.
Yes.
Okay, so he took this balance scale, and each one of the scale plates were a foot in diameter, and he replaced the chains that held the scales to the balance arm. He replaced those with silk thread, and then he suspended the entire scale from his ceiling in his workshop, and he suspended it so that the scale would actually be about a foot above the ground. Okay, and he had a dirt floor in his workshop. So after his all of his study, or a lot of his electrical experiments, he learned a couple of things. One is positive and negative charges existed with electricity, but he also learned that sharp pointed objects tended to discharge the electricity silently and well before a blunt object would. A blunt object would actually discharge the electricity. It had to be very close, and then it would do it with a spark. So he says, okay, so he takes a iron punch and he sticks it into the ground standing straight up, and he charges one of the plates of the balance scale with his Leyden jar, and he let the scale just spin slowly from the packing thread that it was hanging from the ceiling. The twisting of the packing thread actually made the scale spin slowly. As the scale came around and it approached the punch, the iron punch, because of the negative charges that were in the scale, in the punch, it attracted the positive charges that were now in the scale, and because opposite charges attract, it was like a magnet, and it actually pulled the scale down as it spun and came close to the punch. The scale actually dipped down close to the punch, and as it got close, it actually released its spark, and then the scale rose and it drifted away. The reason it rose is because then the scale and the iron punch were of the same charge, and as we know, light charges will repel. So, and when I say that, if you take a magnet, you take two magnets, and you know how you put them together and they push apart from each other. That's when the two poles of the magnet are actually the same charge.
Correct.
But when you flip them over and you put them together, they slap together real quick. That's when they become opposite. So that's what he saw when the scale rotated around close to the punch, to the iron punch. He saw that it drew down because they were opposite charges. It attracted, released its spark, and then pushed it away. So he said, okay, if I take that same punch and I attach a needle onto the end of that punch where it rises up above the top of the punch, and I recharge the scale, and I let the scale drift back around again, let's see what happens. So he does it, but this time the scale actually rises as it gets close to the needle, because the needle actually drew off the electricity silently, and he was like amazed. He says, that is really cool. So he went one step further, and he took the needle off of the punch and he stuck it in the ground next to the iron punch. So now the iron punch is standing much taller than the needle. And he does the experiment one more time. This time he charges when he charges the plate and the scale spins around again, it does the same thing as when the needle was on top of the punch. It actually drifts away. It rises and drifts away. That told Franklin that the needle, the sharp pointed objects, will actually discharge the electricity well before the punch would, which would be a blunt object.
Yeah.
So I explain all of this because Franklin's thought was, if those two scales represented the clouds in the sky, and as those clouds drifted across the land and they approached a tall needle or a tower or a tall tree or hills or spires or even a mast on a ship, as the two poles were attracted to each other, say a mast on a ship and the clouds, they would be opposite charges, and it would pull the clouds down. When it got close enough, it would drop a bolt of lightning to that mast of the ship.
Oh, wow. Okay.
And so he realized, if that's the case, then wouldn't these sharp-pointed objects be beneficial to humankind?
Mm-hmm.
And that's when he came up with the lightning rod.
Okay.
So the very first thing he had to do was they needed to prove that lightning was electricity because they didn't know at that time. They thought it was, but they didn't know. So that's why he flew the kite in an electrical storm, because he was trying to capture the electricity in the Leyden jar that he had with him attached to the kite. And that's what the key was all about. So he had a ribbon tied to the key. He had the string from the kite was tied to the other side of the key, and then he had a wire tied to the key as well that went down to the Leyden jar. So if he attracted the lightning out of the clouds, then it would actually send the electricity into the Leyden jar. Then he could test the Leyden jar, see if there was electrical charge. If there was, lightning would be proven.
Smart.
And that's what happened.
Wow.
Well, guess what?
What's that?
That's it.
I have 11 surprising facts about Ben Franklin.
Awesome. Let's hear them.
Are these facts or are they fiction? We're going to find out right now.
No, they're facts. Look here now, they're facts.
I don't know.
Number 1, he only had 2 years of formal education.
Well, I mean, come on.
He spent 2 years attending Boston Latin School.
Okay.
That is correct.
But I was, like this day and age, people spend so many years in college, in school and college combined, and they don't learn jack
and they don't
shit.
know squat.
Right. Come on, schooling was different
Now,
back then.
I did not. Yeah, it was too. I didn't know number 2. Franklin became a hit writer as a teenager.
Yes. Working for his brother.
And on a newspaper.
Yep. He was actually writing stories under a different name so his brother wouldn't find out.
Right.
Oh, I heard that. I heard about that too. I heard that he would write stories as a secretly as a woman. Silence do good. You know about that?
Silence do good.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
Now, I don't know the full story of this, but usually when I hear a man's writing stuff under a woman's pen name, makes me wonder: are you writing erotica? Are you writing romance there, bro? What's going on? We don't have the full story, but I also hear that Benjamin Franklin's a little bit of a ladies' man. Is that in the 11 facts?
Definitely.
I don't know. We'll see.
That is definitely true. He was a ladies' man.
Well, I mean,
he chased the women quite often.
Maybe he was the former Mr. Deadman.
Maybe he was. It was. But I don't think he did much chasing. I think they came to him, from what I hear.
Yeah,
I'm sure.
He didn't have to.
He's rich.
Talker.
Oh. I mean, after the Declaration of Independence, it just seemed like he went to France and just like was retired there. You know, the stories I hear. I don't even know.
Well,
if
it's
true.
funny you say that because number 3 is he spent half his life in unofficial retirement.
Yes. Since he was, I think it was 37. I think it was 37, the age of 37.
Oh, okay.
That's when he started doing more of his electrical experiments. So,
well, you got all that free time. I also read somewhere that he was the richest person in America at a time.
Mm-hmm.
At the time.
Mm-hmm.
He was very wealthy. But here's an interesting fact too. He actually had quite a few inventions, and he invented the Franklin stove, which was a very popular stove at that time because it actually allowed people to keep heat inside their house without having smoke inside their house. It actually meant the smoke out, so that was very popular. He invented the bifocal glasses, and this is one you may not know, but he actually invented the catheter that's used in hospitals all over the world.
Yeah.
Fun. I don't even want to know how he came up with that idea.
Yeah, I don't know.
Yeah.
Yeah, let's explore that idea. How did Benjamin Franklin?
No.
So, and there was actually several more, but of all of his ideas, he never patented any of them.
Right.
Well.
Yep.
I mean, he's a man of love. I mean, He's gonna
Yeah,
patent
he his idea was not necessarily about creating ideas for money or creating new objects or inventions for money. It was about improving people's lives at that time. He was already wealthy, and the money wasn't a big deal to him. So.
Okay. Now I'm sorry, Becky. Let's
It's
go.
okay.
Let's go. Other facts. What other facts do we have there?
Number 4, Franklin designated a musical instrument designed. I can't read. Franklin designed a musical instrument used by Mozart and Beethoven.
Yep.
Oh, what's
It
this?
was 37 glass orbs of different sizes and pitches, mounted on a spindle and controlled by a foot pedal. The user would simply wet their finger and rotate the apparatus and then touch the glass pieces to create individual tones and melodies.
Oh, is that kind of like you know how people like run their finger around like wine glasses?
A wine? Yes.
Yeah, is it kind of like
Yes.
that? The same concept?
Very much the same, yeah. Same
Yep.
idea.
Same idea. Yeah,
Huh.
that was called the harmonica.
Yes.
All right.
Number 5 is he was a reluctant revolutionary.
Well, of course, his national bird would have been the turkey. I mean, that makes sense. I mean, he's not really the fighting man. I mean,
Yeah, no.
that was George Washington and his people were like, man, we need to do some shit about this shit. We need to take care of these Brits.
Some people even suspected that he might have been a British spy.
I can see that.
There was talk of that, yes.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Where you stand, bro?
But I don't believe it after all I've read on him.
No, I don't either.
Yeah.
Number 6 is Franklin created a phonetic alphabet.
What, he created it?
He created a phonetic alphabet. While living in London in 1768, Franklin embarked on a project to give the alphabet a more natural order. Annoyed by the many inconsistencies in the English spelling, he devised his own phonetic system that ditched the redundant consonants C, J, Q, W, X, and Y and added 6 new letters, each designed to represent its own specific vowel sound. Hell's bells! I have enough problems with the ones we have. I definitely don't need them to add more.
Wait. Are these consonants that we're using now, or is this something that he came up with that we're not using? Like what is this?
Oh, we're not using it.
Oh.
They scrapped the project after it failed to arouse public interest.
Yeah, I can see
Thank
why.
God.
English language is already complicated.
No doubt. I have enough problems with it.
Yeah.
It's probably one of the complicated languages.
Oh, yeah.
Number 7, his son was a British loyalist.
Oh.
Yes.
Yeah, so your son is a British loyalist. What about for you, huh? Where do you stand, Benjamin?
He wasn't. You behave.
Are you Team America or Team Brit? Because we'll send
Team
your ass
America.
back over there.
He's
They
Team
actually-
America, even though he likes the turkey. I like turkeys too.
Him and his son actually ended up having a falling out, and they
Yes.
they didn't speak for many, many years. Not sure they ever spoke again.
I see.
Number 8 is Franklin was a fashion icon in France. Congress sent him to France to seek military aid for the revolution. The 70-year-old was already world-renowned for his lightning experiences. The French even called their electrical experimenters Franklinites or something. I don't know. But him dressing plainly as a frontiersman and wearing a fur hat soon became his trademark. Women even took to imitating the cap with oversized wigs.
All right, so he's a fashion guy. He's like a metrosexual. He's setting trends.
Yep,
The trends.
All right.
that's almost frightening. Number 9, he spent his later years as an abolitionist. I can't say the word.
Abolitionists?
Yes.
So, wait.
He owned 2 slaves during his life, both of whom worked as household servants. But in his old age, he came to view slavery as a vile institution that ran counter to the principles of the American Revolution.
Well, I can't stand for that. That's completely un-American. No, take that joke out of here. No,
Oh,
no.
my
Oh
Lord.
my Lord! All the stuff I say on the show. No. Yeah. I mean, it makes sense. All right. Yeah.
Yeah. Number 10. Franklin left Boston and Philadelphia an unusual gift in his will.
No. Well, I do have a question though. One thing I'm curious about.
Okay.
Benjamin Franklin's all like, let's free the slaves. That's the humans. I wonder if he phoned up George Washington or sent a letter to anyone else. Like, hey, you gonna free your slaves, bro? What's going on? What's going on, man? Shit. But yeah, that's good.
He probably did.
He probably did.
I'm sure he had words about that.
Oh yeah.
I'm sure he did too.
I would love to read those letters. I bet they're pretty heated.
Oh, me too.
All right.
Okay, number 10. Franklin left Boston and Philadelphia an unusual gift in his will. He left them 2,000 pounds of sterling.
Oh, okay.
I don't remember reading that one.
The money was placed in a trust and only used to provide loans to local tradesmen. So he kind of did it to help finance inventors and tradespeople.
Okay.
So that
that's
they
pretty
could.
cool.
Yeah.
I mean, this guy is. I mean, he sounds like a legend now. I mean, now I kind of want to find dirt on him. Now I kind of want to find.
Only you would want to find dirt on Benjamin Franklin
because he sounds too good. He sounds too clean. I mean, there has to be like dirty.
Well,
secrets.
if he liked the women, I'm sure that there were some interesting things about him. But anyway, number 11. He's a member of the International Swimming Hall of Fame.
Yep.
Swimming?
Yes.
Oh, man.
Do you know why?
Oh, why? Why?
He invented wooden hand paddles.
Yes.
And he swam across the Charles River.
Oh.
He was a very avid swimmer.
So it wasn't like because of the Speedo he would wear or anything like that.
Well,
Not
if
so
I find dirt on Benjamin Franklin, you're wearing. If I find dirt on Benjamin Franklin, you're wearing the Speedo for Gary.
I'm looking for dirt right now. I'm looking for dirt.
Oh my Lord! Here we go.
We gotta have a. Hold on here, Glenn. Well, let's ask Glenn. Glenn.
Yes.
Okay, these facts sound great, but right now, it only paints them in a favorable light, which is okay, but it's not fair and balanced. Here on this program, we like to take the Fox News approach and make it fair and balanced. So, are there some things?
What did I find? Is that what you're asking?
I'm sorry.
Are you asking what dirt did I find?
Yeah. What's the underbelly of Benjamin Franklin's life?
I read an awful lot on Benjamin Franklin, and I really never could find anything that was real dirt. And as a matter of fact, there's always got to be a villain in the story, correct?
Yeah.
Right.
So I had to create a villain in the story and create my own reasons of why he was not very friendly with Benjamin. So I will say this: there is a little bit that you might be interested in. So, Deborah Reed was his common law wife, and when he first came to Philadelphia, I think he was 18, and he needed a job, and he ended up getting a job working for one of the printers in town. And if I remember correctly, it's been a while since I've read this, but if I remember correctly, he worked for this one gentleman for a little while, and then he ended up meeting Deborah Reed, who was the daughter of his employer's competitor.
Yeah.
And he really liked her, but he knew he couldn't actually date her. But he ended up leaving his boss and ends up getting a job with the competitor so he could be closer to Deborah Reed. But Deborah Reed was actually engaged to somebody else, and Benjamin, he did his best to woo her, and it didn't work. But later on, a few years later, the guy that she was supposed to be marrying ended up in the West Indies somehow or another, and basically left her available for Benjamin. So I don't know how he ended up getting there, and I don't know if there's any play by Benjamin to help him get to Deborah, but all of a sudden he ended up in the West Indies.
You know, that sounds suspect.
It does.
Sounds like somehow someone, could be him or someone else, manipulated the situation. What'd you find, Becky? Did you find
Franklin lived in London for 16 years. The inventor rented out several rooms on the first floor of a Georgian house on 36 Craven Street and spent his days visiting famous friends, marching up and down the stairs for exercise and puttering around his lab. It was here Franklin finished his lightning rod, worked on his famous stove, and took air baths. Believing air circulation was good for the body, Franklin would open his window, strip down naked, and sit in the open, soaking up the cool air while horrified neighbors gouged their eyes out.
So he would just show. He would just display his package, and well, I mean, come on, he wasn't a fit guy.
Okay, hold on, I'm not done. Yeah, he was taking in the breeze. In 2003, friends of Benjamin Franklin House wanted to restore Franklin's old London home and turn it into a museum. But while they were working in the windowless basement, they made a grisly discovery. Chopped up remains of 15 human bodies. There were mutilated leg bones and trepan skulls.
Okay.
They found the skeleton of an elderly man and the bones of an infant, all buried in one hole. Weirder still, they all dated back to the 1700s. So Benjamin Franklin, an 18th century Jack the Ripper, while that'd make a great novel, the real culprit was probably a young guy named William Hewson. And no, he isn't a murderer.
What? No, wait. Why so fast? Why so rash? Why so... Oh, no, it can't be Benjamin. I mean, why not?
No!
I mean, it's in his house.
The sky...
They found bones in his basement.
Wait a minute. You need to know what the other guy did. Houston was a scientist who ran his own anatomy school in Franklin's basement. So they think he was a grave robber and snatched fresh corpses. But they're not sure.
Oh, okay.
But it says, don't think Franklin was blameless. Chances are he knew about it.
Franklin was out looking for bodies for his friend who's running that school. Yeah, he had plenty of free time. He was already a rich man in America, already early retired at 37. What else is he doing? Flying kites, testing electricity. Okay.
He was a major troll, too.
Oh, of course he is. Of course he was. Yeah.
That's what it says.
Man.
He also chased tornadoes.
No way.
He did.
He did?
That's what it says. That's what it says.
He chased tornadoes? Is that what you said?
Uh-huh.
Oh, okay.
Man. He was a tornado chaser. I don't even think they did that then.
Well, he said that. Well, I mean, he wanted to know how everything worked. It seemed, and he discovered that most scientists were wrong when it came to water spouts, which is a tornado over the water. Many people believed they were made of water, but Franklin said no, they are actually giant columns of wind, and that meant they could swing up into land. And of course, people thought he was nuts. And back then, they called the tornadoes land spouts, or that's what he called them.
Man, it's so crazy how ignorant people were then. Like, I don't know what the hell that is. That must be like a land spout. What the fuck is a land spout?
I think it's because they called the ones over the water a water spout because they thought it was water, not air. So
a water spout
they saw
that moves, like,
yeah,
they're just coming up with stuff.
Have you never seen one?
Yeah, I've seen tornadoes.
No, a water spout.
A water spout, like over the water.
Yeah.
Oh, no, I guess not. No.
Okay, well, I'll have to send you a YouTube video of one. They're kind of freaky.
Oh, okay.
They're actually pretty.
Yeah.
Okay. Well.
So I would assume that when they started calling, the water spouts, when they saw a tornado on land, they said, well, duh, land, and it looks like a water spout, but it's on land, we'll call it a land spout. I don't know.
Yeah.
It makes kind of sense, kind of.
Well, I did not know he was a tornado chaser. That is something new here. What about for you, Glenn? Did you know that?
I don't remember reading that about him being a tornado chaser.
Wow.
He also enjoyed wine.
He did like wine.
Yes, he had 1,200 bottles of champagne and sherry locked away in his Paris home, and in one of his many letters, he declared that wine is constant proof that God loves us and loves to see us happy.
Ah.
Yes, I have read.
What about the turkey? I guess that's proof too. Turkey is pretty good. Damn.
Yes, it is.
It's a good thing it wasn't our national bird. We might not be having turkey next week.
Yeah.
In 2 weeks.
Well, damn it. Can you imagine that? If turkey was our national bird? I mean, would other nations even take us seriously? Be like,
they don't take us seriously now. Are you kidding?
Well, I mean, come on. What?
Our president is orange.
Yeah.
No. So what bird would we have on Thanksgiving if turkey was the national bird?
I don't even think that would change. I think it'd still be turkey. We'd just be eating the national bird.
I don't think they'd let us eat the national bird. I think he would be protected.
I don't know what the hell. I don't even know, because they're eating turkeys then.
Thanksgiving fish?
I mean, no. No, I'm not having fish on Thanksgiving. No. Okay. No, what about this? There's some other myths about Franklin. I need to have this spelled real fast. Okay. I read somewhere that he wrote a letter called Advice to a Friend on Choosing a Mistress.
Haven't heard that.
Yeah, it was a letter to one of his friends. And in it, he pretty much explains why. It boils down to he's a pretty good wingman. And favors.
I like turkeys.
Yeah.
Sorry. Out scouting the women is what you're saying?
Yeah. Like what to look for, how to hit on them and stuff like that, like a step-by-step guide, I mean, hashtag Me Too generation might find that a little sexist, but it's kind of like it's a guide to succeed, because if you succeed and do it well, then you don't get the tweets about you and the posts, because you do things amicably. Everyone's all happy and stuff. I guess.
So what would they, him and his wingmen say to women out there as their pickup lines? Hey, baby, that's
Hey,
sure
baby, you want
nice
some
set of
turkey?
blinkers to have on.
Yeah.
Hey, baby, you want some turkey?
Yeah. Want to go fly a kite with me? He might be yeah. Get all
Come back
electrical over
later,
here.
like buying sex.
Oh shit. Now I want to read this. I want to read this thing. I'm going to table down and actually read it. Okay. Is it true that Benjamin Franklin was hung like a horse?
I don't know.
You don't know? I mean,
It's never in my Google searches.
Yeah.
I mean,
That
it's
didn't come up in mine either.
oh. I ask all the questions. I'm sorry. I ask all the questions. All right. And I know we're goofing off here, but what are some things that we haven't talked about him, about Mr. Franklin?
I don't know. I think we covered about every basis there was with him.
So let me tell you another interesting story, since y'all talk a lot about horror in your shows, and and you like to have some scary stuff and things. So I'll give you a little bit of scariness that goes with the Benjamin Franklin book, or the book I wrote about Ben. Okay. So of course the lightning and the lightning bolt and the kite and all. So here I am. I'm sitting on my couch and I'm typing literally the very last paragraph before I say the end. And as I'm sitting there typing, a lightning storm comes across our neighborhood, and I mean, it is lightning bolt after lightning bolt is just hitting everywhere around as I'm typing this very last paragraph.
Oh my gosh.
And I looked at my wife and I said, this is just so eerie. I mean, it was like the hair on my arms was standing up as I was doing this. But I thought, is Benjamin actually watching, or is this just a coincidence?
Oh, yeah. It could be.
So it was pretty cool.
Yeah, I don't like lightning storms. Thunder and lightning. I hide. That would have been it for me.
I have a cousin that does that. I'm sorry, not a cousin, a niece that does that.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, she does not like lightning storms.
Me neither. Will not even. I almost refuse to go outside at all. If it's thundering and lightning, I'm like, nope.
You got a thunder buddy? You got a thunder buddy, Becky?
No, but I have a under the bed buddy.
Under the bed buddy.
You could send your brother out there and you could watch him get tased.
Yeah.
No, I want to do it. That's no fun.
I mean, you're watching him get tased by God. I mean, that might be a little fun.
No.
Oh, I'm sorry, Satanists. I'm sorry. By Satan or whatever, whoever else that they think.
Evil rulers of the sky.
Yeah. I had no idea that I was going to offend them. I never thought that. I was like, that's kind of weird. I didn't really think that was going to happen. But anyway, that whole thing is silly.
It was.
But that is pretty eerie, though. Right when you're coming to the end of the book. Did that happen?
It was literally the very last chapter.
Now,
the whole time writing that chapter, lightning bolts are going everywhere. It was just weird.
Now, have you thought about running that same experiment with the kite?
Doing this experiment?
You talking about in the book? Or?
Yeah.
Yeah, I actually do have that experiment in the book.
Now, have you done it yourself, though, in real life?
Oh, have I done it myself?
Yeah.
No.
Good Lord, no. He's still alive.
Yeah.
Benjamin Franklin didn't die. Okay.
Actually,
no, but...
when Franklin did his experiments, of course, he did them up in the Northeast in Philadelphia. And I know in Philadelphia there's a decent amount of humidity, but it does get cold a lot more often there than it does down here. And the static electricity is a bit more prominent up there during the colder months. And he talks about his letters. They're all dated, but there's a blurb in one of the letters that's undated that talks about he'll have to wait until the winter to conduct the experiments again, because during the summer they couldn't make them work very well. They couldn't electricize the bottle like they needed to conduct the experiments. So I actually have made my own Leyden jar, and I have tried to do the experiments. I've been able to get some static electricity into it, but I have not been able to get it to work the way he has. But if you Google it or go to YouTube and look up Leyden jar, you'll find experiments on there that actually show how Leyden jar works, and you can actually see what it does. So, but I do have another. Basically, it's a Sprite bottle, a plastic Sprite bottle, and you can actually make a Leyden jar out of that. And I intend on trying to do that once it gets a little bit more cold, and I can actually generate enough static electricity to try to make it work. So I am going to experiment with it some more, but I got to wait for the cold weather.
Okay. All right. And now, with this book, now, did you publish it yourself, or did you pitch it to a publisher to publish it for you?
I actually did self-publishing. I published it myself. I did actually hire an editor after I spent 10 rounds of editing myself. I actually went to an editor and got it professionally done. And we did 2 rounds of editing with him. I did 2 rounds of editing with him. And after that, it was actually pretty well ready to go out. And then I hired a cover designer to do the book cover, and then of course all the other stuff, copyrights and ISBNs and all the things that goes along with it. So yeah, I did all of that myself. It was quite a.
And how's the reception been?
Actually, it's been good. It's been out July 31st was the release date, and I've sold quite a few copies. I'm still hoping to sell more, obviously.
Of course.
I'm trying to get my name out. I'm trying to get the word out to the people. I've got a little bit of a following on Twitter right now, and I've got quite a few people on Facebook. And I have a large email address book that I am sending lots of emails out on a consistent basis, just trying to get the book sold. So, and now I'm trying to, I want to do things like the podcast that we're doing today, and just try to build my name up and hopefully be able to get the word out. I have a few reviews from people that have read it, and actually every one of the reviews have come back very positive. They're all 5 stars, and they all have very good things to say about the book.
Awesome.
Yeah, and a couple of them are people that do know me, and but you know they actually have said, you know, I'm very pleasantly surprised because you know I wasn't a writer, I was actually a salesman. And but then when I put pencil to paper and actually got me a finished product, they were very impressed with it. So the story really turned out well. I'm very, very pleased with the story. So in addition, I think it's a story that should have been or needed to be told, and I think it's something that a lot of people don't know about. They know of Franklin flying the kite, but they don't know what led him to actually want to fly the kite.
Right.
And I thought that was something that was important. So the book's not specifically about Franklin. It's really more about Zach and Zane. and the events that they go through, and then they accidentally transport Benjamin back to the future. But they also bring a nemesis of his, and during their time here, Benjamin is amazed with what he sees with technology and everything that society has to offer nowadays. And of course, his nemesis Bernard he despises Benjamin and wants to steal Benjamin's fame. So, and with a time machine, that's very possible. So, that's kind of the way the story goes, and it's got a little bit of his electrical experiments in it, but it's not a lot. It's very little, but it's a journey in the story. So, and it's really a good story. It really is.
So I have a question.
Okay.
What's coming next from you?
I have some ideas that I've made some notes on another historical type project, but it's probably going to be based more like in maybe the 1940s. It'll be based on a disaster, not necessarily. It won't be like on the war or anything like that. It would be a disaster, and but I haven't done a lot of writing with that yet. I've been really focused on trying to get this book marketed, trying to get more people to know that it's out there, and hopefully be able to get it sold more.
Right.
That's pretty exciting. I mean, what disaster?
Go ahead.
In 1940?
Have you heard of the Grand Camp?
Grand Camp.
The Texas City explosion?
Oh, wait. Is that the one with the nuclear reactor?
No.
No, okay. I don't think it's
It was
okay.
a fertilizer ship that exploded.
All right.
So I would like to center a story around that in some way. I've got some notes put together, but I haven't really put a deep thought into it yet. So I haven't even started an outline on it yet.
Okay. All right. But that sounds exciting. I mean, you have something in the works, at least. It's an idea stage. You're kind of putting things together. But Electric Fire is selling copies.
Yes, it is.
Good reviews, getting a favorable response. Other writers listen to the show. There's a lot of writers that listen. So when they hear this, they'll be like, "Oh man! I mean, this guy. I mean, he's doing it." Some of them, and I don't think this is definitely not for all, but some probably might be a little jealous. Be like, this guy doesn't really have much experience, and he's doing it. And he's selling copies and getting his name out there. But I mean, you're making it work for you. It
is, and it's been a very fun journey. I've really, really enjoyed it. And it's given me something to do during the retirement time, but I've been pretty busy. So I've really enjoyed creating the story, and I've learned that I actually have a creative side to me, and that I never really have tried to draw out. And it actually shows in this book, and it really turned out to be good. It really did. It's a very, very good story, and a lot of people are really liking it. As a matter of fact, one of the guys that I did that actually put a review on Amazon actually said that he read the book, and after he finished reading the book, he liked it so much he wanted to read it to his kids so that they would hear the story. So I thought that was pretty cool.
That is really cool.
Yeah. So yeah, it is a fascinating story. It's really good.
Cool.
No,
I'm gonna have to get it and read it.
And I noticed that on social media, on Twitter, like, you are busy. You are constantly and you're consistently, networking with people, talking with people, sending messages and things. I think you crossed paths with Gary and Marchese first, and then they talk about going on their show, which was a good show, and then definitely come on the Deadman podcast and all that. But one thing that struck me about your your Twitter is that, I mean, it's very professional. It's very,
Yeah.
it's very
Thank you.
clean. Like, if I follow you, I don't have to worry about political stuff. I don't have to worry about nonsense. It's clean.
You don't have to worry about putting any political stuff on Twitter.
And I like
Yeah,
that.
mine neither.
I'm not much into the political stuff. I tend to stay to myself and try to live my world and try to enjoy my life. And I'm not going to try to fight the politicians' fights for them.
And I respect
goodness.
that. I respect that. I try very hard to live by that. Sometimes sometimes I'm like, I want to say something, but I shouldn't say it. I just feel it. I feel it. But usually what I do,
So you said it here instead.
yeah, I say it here.
I'm kidding.
Well,
Don't get me wrong. There's many times I want to jump on there and say stuff, but
Yeah.
I'm just going to stay out. So
yeah,
Right.
well, at least here there's context. At least here there's a tone of voice. So you know that I'm joking around
Right.
or whatever. On Twitter's just text. I mean, people just read a comment and be like, "Oh, what's this?" No, okay.
Twitter's been interesting. It really has. It's good. I try to stay active on Twitter. I want to get out there, try to get as many followers as I possibly can, and I want to be able to spread the word. And
That's smart.
yeah, well, and that and Facebook too. So
Right.
I've not been an Instagram person. I've never really done Instagram.
Yeah,
I would
it's
probably
mostly
need my
photos.
granddaughters help to do that.
Yeah, and Instagram's
Learn
mostly
it.
images. I mean, you would have to like take images of stuff and whatever.
Yeah.
All right, what is your favorite horror movie?
My favorite horror movie?
Yes, sir.
Well, I'm not a real big horror fan, but I will say this. We just went and saw Halloween the other night,
All
and
right.
I enjoyed it. And we watched The Birds the other day, the original with Alfred Hitchcock's The Birds.
Oh yeah. That's
Oh,
good.
nice.
Yeah, enjoyed that. And actually got to see part of Psycho just recently and enjoyed what I got to see. I've actually seen the movie many years ago. But if I had to say of all the horror movies, probably Halloween is one of my favorites.
Now, when you say
Nice.
Halloween, do you mean the new one or the original?
The original. The original.
All right. All right.
Of course, I did see a lot of the Friday 13th movies back when they came out, because I used to work at a movie theater when I was in high school and right out of high school, so we saw those quite often.
Now, do you think? I mean, what are your thoughts on the new Halloween?
I actually liked the movie. I really did. I thought it was good.
Okay. And then how do you think it compares to the original?
Well, I think the original was much better. It probably because it was a new movie that had come out, and there was the entire suspense. We didn't know who Michael Myers was at that time, but now we know who Michael Myers is, so everybody kind of has an idea of what's going to be happening and kind of the way the story goes. But I did kind of like the way Jamie Lee Curtis was not necessarily running from him, but actually actively going after him. So, and I enjoyed it. It was a good movie. I liked the way they wrote the story.
Yeah, I'm still waiting though. I'm still needing to watch it. I can't believe it's been this long, really, because Halloween's like one of my favorite horror movies anyway. And I know the series, the franchise, has a lot of downbeats. It has a lot of flaw. I mean, Halloween 4 is not really all that good. There's a bunch of other ones. H2O.
Mm-hmm.
the Rob Zombie ones. You know, it's like, but I still need to see the new one. But I heard a lot of good things about it, so definitely need to check it out.
Yeah, no, it's actually a good movie. We were both, me and my wife both are very very pleased with it. We enjoyed it. She loves the horror movies, so she makes me go see them with her on occasion. So
I would too.
Well,
I don't like to be scared, and sometimes those get to me.
oh man,
I can understand that.
yeah, I can watch horror movies, but what I can't do is I can't really play those horror games. I don't know if you know what I'm talking about. And
Oh, yeah.
there's a lot of my PC, Xbox, PlayStation, whatever. A lot of games lately where they limit you with just pretty much either a camcorder or a flashlight in a 3D setting in a very creepy environment where you can't defend yourself and you have to run away from some maniacs or whatever. And I'm just like, I can't stand that. As someone who was like, if I was in that situation, I'd be grabbing anything I could, trying to hit the motherfucker. You're telling me I can't even do that? Like, what is this? Like, I can't stand those games. The only one that comes to mind right now is like what, what, like Slender Man. I know there's some other ones. I can't think of the name of the titles right now. But those games where you can't attack the person who's coming at you, you know.
Well, some of those games when I had actually started to play, I don't even remember the name of the game. It was one, but it was shoot them, they blow them up, and of course it was 20 years ago, so graphics weren't good then, and computers weren't even all that great then either, and as I'd sit there and play it and watch the blood spill.
Oh, was it Doom? Was it Doom? Oh? Oh, what happened?
I think we lost him.
Did we lose him? Oh, I think we lost him.
Oh no.
I think we lost Mr. Christmas.
Christmas is over.
Christmas is over, guys. It came. It's gone. There's no more Christmas.
It'll be back again though.
And there were no gifts.
You've been naughty. You don't get anything.
I was good this stream. I only asked one crazy question.
You were very good. I was proud of you.
Do you remember the craziest question I asked?
Yeah.
Are y'all there?
Oh,
there he is.
Oh, hey, I was going to ask
again.
you. Was the game you played, was it Doom?
Yes, it was. It was Doom.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. I played that when I was a kid. My parents bought the computer. It was like a Pentium.
Yeah, I think it was.
Yeah, it was a great game. Great game. But,
yeah, it made me nauseous every time I played that game. And I said, that's it, I'm done.
Oh, man. I was engrossed. I wanted more. I couldn't get enough.
Really?
I'd sneak up upstairs and get on the computer and play, find out all the secrets, find out how to get the chainsaw. And then I'm telling my mom, breakfast in the morning, I was like, oh, yeah, I got a chainsaw. I was cutting up all these people. And she's like, looking at me like I'm crazy. I'm like, no, it's just a game. Just a game. It's just zombies. It doesn't matter. It's just zombies.
Yeah. Yeah, I definitely remember playing that game. So I think we lost Becky too.
Is Becky here?
I think we lost her.
Why is it only one of you can be on one at a time? Man, let me see if we can add Becky on. What is going on here? It's like
I had to log off and log back on.
Benjamin Franklin is interfering.
Oh, he's pushing his electrons through, huh?
Yeah, he is trolling us. That's what he's doing. Benjamin Franklin, the spirit, is trolling us for sure.
Maybe it's his static electricity.
Could be.
So,
all right. Well, I'm calling her just for see if she can say goodbye. Pretty much.
okay.
Where are you, Becky? Answer your phone. She might still think I don't. It's so weird. Well, let me try one more time. Get her on.
Okay.
Do 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 da. All right, yeah, I'll definitely send you the link to the South Park episode because when you're telling me, I was like,
right.
they did this, but of course they do everything, anything that you can think of, they've probably already done, but
Yeah.
but it's not done the way you did. It's done in a way that it's of course it's South Park, so it's just,
Well, I most definitely, because I want to see that. I did not know they had done that. So, but
yeah. So Becky's not coming on. I gotta. So anyway, Mr. Christmas, thank you for coming on and talking with us. I know it's not horror. It's not horror related, but I mean you're a writer. And there's been other writers on the show that are not just horror writers. There's been contemporary authors as well. Hell, during #CockyGate, there's been talking about romance stuff that are actually more erotica. Because that affects all writers. #CockyGate, where someone was trademarking the word cocky. So, but thank you for coming on. Feel free to hang out in the chat in the future shows and to come in as a caller, as a guest for later shows. You're definitely.
Okay.
I'm gonna see you. I might treat you as like a historian. So if ever I have a question and I need a history buff, I might go to you. Okay.
Okay. Sure.
All right.
Sure. Please send me an email or what have you. I'll be happy to try to answer it if I possibly can.
That's right. If anyone says, "Oh yeah, I know this that about Benjamin Franklin," be like, "Oh yeah, I have an expert in line. I'm gonna call it Mr. Christmas."
There you go. I like that. So
yeah.
Well, thank you so much for having me on. I really do appreciate it. It was awesome. It was my first time to do a podcast, and I really enjoyed doing this. And I think I might have to do some more of these. I enjoyed it.
Yeah, what can I say? I make it easy. I mean,
you got a great show. I really do appreciate it.
Thank you. Listeners, you made it this far, press that thumbs up button. Otherwise, you just wasted your time for nothing. Press the thumbs up button, share it to someone else, and subscribe, especially if you made it this far. All right, and y'all take it easy.
All right, sounds good. Thank you. Have a good night.